Hey, True Believers, England Teen here with another episode of Marvel vs. DC. This is where I basically read and reviewed a whole ton of comic books. You're going to see them pass by. These are the ones that are going to be reviewed in the video here. And it's just little short 40-second reviews to tell you, is it good, is it bad? It's not an in-depth thing, or this would be a 5-hour video with how many comics you're going to see pass by here. But I'm all caught up. Yay! I am ready for New Comic Day to start all over again. Alrighty, but anyway, it's pretty simple. I read them, I rank them. We're going to see who wins the week. Is it Marvel or DC, or in this case, the past 2 weeks. And then I rank them 1 star is horrible, 2 star is bad, 3 star is average, 4 star good, and 5 star being excellent. You know what I'm going to say right now? I didn't have any 5 stars, so I'm not going to include them at the end. So if you're like, hey, where's the 5 stars? You obviously didn't pay attention to this part right here. Alrighty, what else to say? Oh, and yes, I do put them in order from worst to best. Why? Because that's about as far as my OCD extends, and I figure, what the heck, it's more fun that way. And yes, I do painstakingly think which one is better, even in the middle ones that really, I don't think it matters, right? Top 5, bottom 5, that's what really matters, but I do that anyway. If you like the video, please click like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Make sure your notifications are on for YouTube, and share. Get word about the channel, because YouTube is crashing it. And if you don't mind helping out the channel, go on over to Ko-Fi, and you could commission your own video here just using any one of these topics. A couple people have done that already. You're about to see a lot of these videos coming out in the next few days, and I had a lot of fun doing them, and I look forward to whatever anyone else may suggest for the comic book origins or the top 10s or anything like that. It's a ton of fun. So, with all that aside, without further ado, let's get this party started. The 1-star books are horrible, and they should be avoided at all cost. Female Furies number 6. There's a cathartic feeling when you finish this story. It's like, it's finally come to an end and I've survived. This is the worst piece of shit I've ever read. And I mean that. I have read a comic book that literally had the line, with the sun and the moon between us. And this is still the worst comic book I have ever read. Absolutely disrespecting all characters involved. Lois Lane number 1 is colored brown. It looks ugly. The art isn't all that great. Greg Rucka listened to MSNBC and CNN, and he has filled this book with jabs at the president, jabs at people who support the president. It really does seem like a vehicle for him to get stuff off of his chest rather than a story for Lois Lane. So to me, this is a big-ass fail. Arrow number 1 really does seem like a failed manga, in all honesty. Now, granted, I've only read 1 or 2 manga. It's not my cup of tea, so better people than I, as far as this is concerned, could tell you, but I don't know. The kaiju or buildings come to life. It's like 1 word per panel for like 4 or 5, maybe 6 pages. It's really a waste. It's like they drew these pictures and went, oh, wow, the colors are cool, put words to it, but nobody had any idea what to say. The 2-star books are bad. They could have been horrible, that they just had this one saving grace. Batgirl number 36. Now, while I have been saying that Batgirl has been getting better, and it really has been, it's been entertaining these last few storylines, I do have to say I'm not a big fan of how this particular storyline ended. The last stand against the terrible trio and all that. It was really one of those, you know what's right on the inside, so, you know, stand up for yourself, that kind of thing that she does with the villains. Now, granted, one of them just goes all out to kill her, and I appreciated that part of it. But overall, I was like, I don't know. It was okay while still being a little weak sauce. Uncanny X-Men number 20. The X-Men are the bad guys again because they found something that can suppress the cure for the mutant gene. Not even thinking about some people who may not look human anymore would want to look human. But they decided to get rid of it anyway. Worldwide, as soon as they figured on that, I'm like, you know what? You're not the heroes in this particular story, X-Men. That was a bad idea. Superman Up in the Sky, written by Tom King. Is this the one that was in the Walmart books? Anyway, Tom King proves that he doesn't exactly get Superman either. So Superman finds out that there's a little girl who finds him to be the favorite. And so most of the book is spent him going, wait a second, I can't go for one little girl. No, he would immediately, because there are tons of other superheroes on Earth. Because the whole thing is he's fighting different villains going, I can't leave Earth, because he's left Earth 1,000 times before. There's literally thousands of comic books before this one that shows Superman leaving Earth to go do something. And Tom King's there, I can't leave Earth because just to save one little girl. Bull crap. Superman would have already, there's no question what he would have done. But most of this issue is him doing that. It just... The 3-star books are average. They either didn't resonate with me or I liked them, but just not enough to recommend them. Captain America and the Invaders. So, oh my gosh, I really wanted to like this more. Seriously, the Bahamas Triangle, that's funny. Anyway, it starts off really slow. It really does. It was a slog. It was one of these that really stopped me from moving forward as far as reading all these comics because I just had to get through this one. But once it hits the middle, once everything starts happening, it is a lot of fun. It's just a chore to get up to all of the fun. Justice League number 27. I don't know what happened. I'm reading this book and I found myself to be emotionally detached. I did like the stuff with Amazo. I always liked that character anyway. It focuses on Martian Manhunter, and I've always liked that character as well, but it just seemed, I don't know, it seemed like a whole bunch of stuff was going on, but nothing I could really care about. I did, however, like the fact that he got the offer, not a villain. That was a bit of a twist I did not see coming. Action Comics number 1012, I say with quotation marks. Art's not all that great. It's kind of muddied. The story is actually kind of muddied as it's trying to talk about this mafia beneath the mafia, hidden mafia of sorts that Lois Lane is trying to uncover. It ends up, the book's kind of boring this time around. Usually Action Comics is the better of the Superman, but this time around, not so much. Doom Patrol Weight of the Worlds number 1. So we get a new miniseries here, and this takes place right after the first miniseries, which I didn't remember when I read this, so there was a little bit of catching up to do. That's a warning. This is a fun book, but it's a Doom Patrol book, and in this case, it's a Doom Patrol that Gerard Way wants you to be confused rather than understanding what's going on. Now, granted, there is a straight narrative that jumps in at a certain point in the book, but it takes a while to get there. A lot of it is let's catch up to the characters, and in doing so, Gerard Way seems to be wanting to be weird for weirdness sake, and I think he kind of drops the ball on this. In the end, it's not bad, but it's nothing thrilling either. Green Lantern number 9. So we are doing a sort of an alternate universe kind of thing here, and he's fighting Abin Sur. Of course, he doesn't figure it out, so okay, well, you know, sorry guys, spoiler. Anyway, it's okay. I like the beginning part a lot better than I did the ending, where you've got all these alternate heroes and such like that. Overall, it does seem weirdness for weirdness sake, and that's kind of a Morrison thing, so it's not amazing, but it's still entertaining. At least it's entertaining. Fantastic Four, The Prodigal Son number 1. So an alien lands in the Savage Land, and Kazar's like, oh my god, well, she's going for the High Evolutionary's weapons, and he calls Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four to stop him, only to find out that this is a very powerful alien, maybe even, as he describes himself, a god, and they fight. It's okay. It is an incredibly okay comic. There's nothing special about it. We've seen it before. I don't know, just okay. Superman number 12. So what do you know? A stopped clock can be right twice a day. This was an entertaining book. Now, granted, most of this has already been told to us if you read Supergirl. The first, I don't know, 8 or 10 pages came right out of that book. Art's pretty good. I thought that it was pretty tight after they got past the Supergirl stuff. It ended up giving us a pretty good yarn, and I'm finally finding some substance, or at least in this issue, I found some substance in Brian Michael Bendis' writing. Lord, let this continue, but I doubt it will. We get okay, so this is Wonder Woman 73, and it is a flashback story. a lot happens. It's so much plot. There's no time for story here. In all honesty, they're in another dimension where Hippolyta created another Hippolyta for all the dark deeds to be done, and they're stuck in that, and they're trying to teach the dark Hippolyta how to be good, but of course she's having none of it. It's okay. Trying to do the whole message of it's better to have love and someone near you. Of course, it's the dark Hippolyta, so she's rethinking the whole daughter thing, but obviously she's going to take it in a direction that it's not meant to be. I could see that coming from a mile away. Doctor Strange, number 15. So here we have Galactus absorbing Dormammu. This is just a cool storyline. It really is. I'm really shocked that Mark Waid has been writing something I'm enjoying again. It's refreshing. It really is. Unfortunately, he lost me with the very last page. A whole army, everybody in tight formation, we're going after Dormammu. It's magic, okay? Tight formation also puts you in one easily hit clump. I hate it when people try to sound militaristic, and it just comes off sounding stupid. Other than that, though, it's a pretty decent book. Savage Avengers, number 3. They're doing it right. They've created a villain that seems to be able to kick everybody's butt. And so it's making me go, okay, well, how are they going to get out of this? And I'm very interested. I'm very hyped. I'm like, woohoo! All right, this is great. I'm loving this. And then, okay, they're going to give Conan a symbiote. Fuck you, Marvel. Seriously. I am starting to believe that Venom is the worst character ever created because it is the go-to for everything now. Absolutely. Well, I hated it when I saw a Venom / Malekith in War of Realms. Now we get a Venom. No. I'm done. Done with that. Deathstroke, number 45. So this is a Year of the Villain crossover, but it really only happens at the end, so that's not even a factor. This is all about basically the Ravager wanting to fulfill Deathstroke's last contract, much the same way as he wanted to fill the Ravager's contract when he had to kill Teen Titans. Anyway, it's a decent issue. Most of it's a morality play where Rose is, you know, she wants to kill this guy, but everybody wants to stop her, so she saves her humanity and that kind of thing. Like I said, it's decent. Not one of the strongest issues I've read, though. And the 4-star books are good, and I'm happy to recommend them to you. Old Man Quill, number 7. So the Guardians get to the Baxter building to find out that it had been dropped on a gigantic Loki. And I do like the line that Rocket Raccoon had for that. This is a pretty decent book. Now, Doctor Doom appears in it just long enough to slam his fist on a table. I thought, okay, that's weird. He has no real other interaction with anybody other than that. It was kind of weird. But the story surrounding that particular instance is actually pretty good. And it does have a pretty cool twist ending. I don't know if it's a twist. I saw it coming, but anyway, it's good. Wolverine Exit Wounds. It's an anthology book, so naturally some stories are going to be better than others. There's 3 of them this time, though. The first one is basically him as Weapon X, and they're pumping memories in, and that one actually was pretty good. I like that one. As well as the one with Kitty Pryde and Wolverine in Japan, obviously taking place in the 1980s storylines, and that was also fun. The one with Sam Keith, where Wolverine's versus Venom, was good right up to the very last page, where this one right here, where he's like, I gotta summon the Berserker Rage. No, he didn't summon the Berserker Rage. That started like late 80s, early 90s, where they made it a superpower rather than him losing control. The whole point was he would lose control and become a menace to everyone around him because it would just be kill, kill, kill. Totally missing the point. The book is good up to that one page, so I can't penalize it too much, but that one page just like, oh, you almost made it. You almost were the perfect anthology. Uncanny X-Men, number 21. Wow, they're in the 20s. It's time to stop and reboot, ladies and gentlemen. Does anybody else think, okay, Emma Frost by herself made the entire world forget mutants existed? That is too powerful to live. Sorry, but maybe I would be one of the evil humans, but seriously, think about that for a moment. I don't know. Anyway, the book's alright. It's a decent way to end things. Star Wars, Age of Resistance, Finn, number 1. So, Kidoki. ever wonder why or how a janitor ended up being a stormtrooper, this will tell you. It'll give you the whole story here. Well, not the whole story, but part of the story is right here. And it turns out it's a fun one. It's an interesting one. Look, I'm a fan of these Age of books. Once again, just not a fan of the numbering. And they're just thoroughly entertaining. And more importantly, and here's something for the Star Wars movie people, fun. The Punisher, number 13. So we've got this is a good cover for this book, and I love this cover. But we get a meeting between Wilson Fisk and the Baron Zemo, and it's basically, as he mentions in the book, a penis measuring contest. All the while, Punishers come to New York, and they decide to get a task force, the Thunderbolts, to chase down after him. This is good. This is good, guys. The Immortal Hulk, number 20. Now, I have mentioned that this is not the Hulk. It's a monster. They're calling the Hulk for the purposes of this story. And the more and more that they move away from what the Hulk actually is, the more they test my suspension of disbelief as far as this being the Hulk. And this happens in this issue so much. I want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy this more because it's really not a bad comic. It's just it's not the Hulk, and I'm having a hard time with that right now. The Terrifics, number 17. So, yeah, we've got the Terrifics going through the plagues. We have, basically, it's another computer come to life trying to take over the world sort of thing. We've seen it all before, but I've always said it's not how or what it's about, it's how it's about it. And in this case, it's just a lot of fun. I'm still liking these characters. I'm still liking the writing. The art is good. This is just one of the best comic books on the shelf right now. The Superior Spider-Man, number 8. This issue is far more tolerable than the last one. I do like the fact that he played his I am Dr. Octopus, therefore I am better than everybody card, and no one was listening. Everyone was getting tired of it. He tried it on Reed Richards. Just here, take the technology and get out of our hair. We have to do this. We've got a job to do. And it needed to be thrown back into his face. And I'm glad it was. It made for a better issue. Star Wars Target Vader number 1 is a really hard kind of book to do. We know how it ends for Darth Vader. Therefore, it's really about how we get to the point where he's going to kill all of these bounty hunters. So is it entertaining? Is it not? Yeah, I think the bounty hunter they introduced is interesting. He's kind of Han Solo-ish. He is flying the Millennium Falcon. Darth Vader's always an interesting character. So far, so good. But it could go off the rails. We'll see. Punisher number 12. So you've got a laid up Frank Castle. Some guys come in and say they're going to kill him. Of course, he turns the tables on them and then finds himself tied up with a whole bunch of ex-Hydra agents wanting to escape and wanting kind of to get back to the organization that they feel have wronged them. So Punisher teams up with them to go after a drug island and kill as many as they can. And that's a very simple plot for a very simple book. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the ending of the Adventures of Super Sons. It's number 12, and it lives up, man, seriously. It kind of goes a little bit Cosmic Cube-ish by creating a person inside the Hypercube, but in the end, it's a really big super battle. It's a lot of fun. The dialogue is fun and funny. It's everything you want from the Adventures of Super Sons, and a great wrap-up to a great mini-series, or maxi-series. Savage Sword of Conan number 6. I may have done this one already. This may be an instance of me buying a double and reviewing it, but Conan is shanghaied. He's poisoned and then sold as a slave for the gladiator pits, and Conan fights his way back to the man who sold him for revenge. It's bloody, it's awesome, it's everything you want a Conan story to be. So far, so good. There's not been a weak issue of Conan or Savage Sword of Conan. The Flash, number 73. Wow, I gotta tell you, this year one storyline's picked up, and here we've got the origin story of the Turtle. I remember when this character was a throwaway, and they're making him badass. I really enjoyed it. The book itself I've got to talk about, and I don't present it here, but they have the Turtle, his speech is white lettering on a green background. I'm not liking the artistic the artistic ways they're showing lettering anymore, because I have to balloon everything up to be able to read it. That might just be my old eyes. I don't know. But it's a good book beside that. Batman Ninja Turtles 3, number 3. This book just continues to get better. At first, I got to admit, while I was enjoying it, I was a little bit confused. I was like, okay, wait a second. What are they trying to do? Is this Elseworlds? Is this what? This kind of tightens everything together, brings it to a more clear narrative, and it is stronger for that. The action is still there. The novelty never really wears off, in all honesty. I'm just a big fan of these books. Deceased, number 3. So I've had fun with this series. I've enjoyed it. It's DC Zombies and everything. And I have to say, this one really stepped up a notch. Here we get a real sense of dread as we follow Superman. I know this is Aquaman, but as we follow Superman, and he wants to help everybody, but he sees this as a world that's died. He can't see the people he tried to save anymore as people. He has to destroy them in order to save the survivors. And just watching somebody who is just pure hero as Superman having to come to grips with that, it's deep. It's a really good issue. So there you go, gang. Those are the reviews and the countdown. Now, before we get to the scoring, I do have to disclose one thing. I'm a huge DC Comics fan. I just like the characters better. However, when I do this, I really do read every book with an open mind, and I score them justly, I believe. So anyway, with that out of the way, let's find out who won. DC Comics had 2 1 stars, 2 2 stars, 7 3 stars, 5 4 stars, a score of 47. There were 16 comics with an average of 2.94. This is not a good week for DC, or 2 weeks. Marvel, on the other hand, had 1 1 star, 1 2 stars, 4 3 stars, 10 4 stars with a score of 54, 16 comics and an average of 3.38, making them the clear winners. Sorry, Marvel just entertained me more this time around, which is a shock and a surprise. Now, DC had some heavy-hitting books, but overall, I just found Marvel to be more entertaining this week. Sometimes it happens. It's a rare occasion, but sometimes it happens, and this time it happened in full force. So there you go, guys. Wow, Marvel win. That's something. That is something. Anyway, let me know what you think. What did I grade too high? What did I grade too low? I'm sure you guys have a big opinion on the Marvel books that I graded too high. And let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to click like and share. Of course, please share. YouTube is screwing me over. I need the help. And if you haven't done it already, subscribe. Ring that notification bell, but also make sure that your YouTube notifications are on, because that's very important. That's what YouTube really pays attention to these days. And if you don't mind helping out the channel, going over to Patreon or to Ko-Fi, drop $1 in the till. Helps keep the lights on here. This is the way we're trying to make a living here. So, yeah, help us keep making videos for you. Also, go on over to Ko-Fi and commission a video for yourself through any of the categories that we do. You're going to see a few of those videos coming out pretty soon here. I have a lot of fun doing them. It's tons of fun finding out what you guys want to see. So, yeah, go right on over to Ko-Fi, pick out any of those, commission a video for yourself, and I'll get that going ASAP. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.